Hey guys, welcome back to episode 16, season 4. This is our pre-Christmas primer, man. I am back with Pavel the Cat Insider, not because he has Felix the Potvin cat's reflex, but because he loves his cats. Are you wearing cat skin there today? It kind of looks like on your Christmas. Okay, no
This
cat.
is my ugly Christmas sweater, just in time for the holidays. This is what Evan knows about hockey sweater.
I like how you think the people are so dumb that they actually have to read, "This is my ugly sweater."
Well, yeah. This is like a subtitle for a foreign movie. This is how you got to know what I'm doing.
Hey,
Evan, how you doing?
Hey, I'm excited. This is our last show. We're going to be off for 2 weeks off the air, everybody. So just a heads up, and just in case you don't know, there is the listing right down below, just to put a reminder out throughout our podcast today. But please remember, every Wednesday, 7 p.m., follow us right here on Two Guys in Hockey Talk on Facebook. If you might be following us on YouTube, for those that travel more and out and about, YouTube can be better. Subscribe over there. Follow us on our Twitter feeds. As well, you can follow us at the Sports Empire Network. And them boys over there and them girls. There's boys and girls everywhere having fun this Christmas season. So check out some podcasts when you get a chance. What's your week like going into the holidays here, buddy?
Oh, it's exciting to go back to BC again with some family and spend some time there, even though it's snowing over there. Clearly, Vancouver got a bunch of snow this weekend, as did Victoria. So I don't know what's happening. The world was upside down, but I thought I was getting away somewhere tropical and warm. And ITs, I know it's not that tropical, but at least it's warmer than Edmonton. So for those of you who are in the Edmonton area, you may know it's pretty cold right now. It's pretty chilly. Stay warm out there. Stay bundled up. But for those of you tuning in from outside of Edmonton or somewhere warm, we hope you're enjoying your pina coladas and your coconuts. So,
well, I'm ready, man. Before we get started,
cheers to the holidays. Whatever you're celebrating, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all the power to you.
Or celebrating days off work, maybe. Or
celebrating for those, whatever you're celebrating.
Or you're actually drinking something to get through the work through the holidays. So hats off to all you who keep it moving. Hey, Zill, I know Zill's not joining us for the holidays. She's got to keep trucking on through. So definitely, hey Zill, I got an idea. You can go back and watch all our reruns. That'll give you a good laugh over the holidays.
Zilstra, we want to give a special shout out to Zilstra. On top of providing something really cool for the show, she provided us with some pretty cool snag from the desert region near Vegas when she was traveling there in their truck. So I applaud you, Zilstra, for this beautiful, beautiful hat. I love it. I think it's a little snug, but it's perfect right now for the minus 40 weather, minus 39. Okay, and I had to ask you privately what this is. Wrong side. I got this from Zilstra, and I was so confused as to what it was because it only had a little bit, and I was like, what is this? Like, I like it, but it's missing some of the Vegas things, and it says 17. Turns out it's a face mask, right? Like this. So I could be abandoned or I'm ready for COVID. Either way.
So, hey, I'm just wondering, was that James Neal's jersey number 17 when he was with the Vegas Golden Knights and they decided to reuse it and sell it during COVID? I'm sorry, Zill. That is funny. Well, hey, just behind me, here's my 2 gifts from Zill. Now, I will let you guys know I am related to Zilstra. She is my sister, so I do get a little in here. My gift is worth a little bit more behind me here. So you'll see I got a Vegas Golden Knight jersey up here, Circus Sports. It is bedazzled. Looks great on my wife. I'm not sure, Zill, if I'm yet ready to actually bedazzle people yet. But you'll notice also behind me, this is an American Hockey League jersey. It's an alternate jersey that is by the Tucson Roadrunners. And so what I'd like to do right now is go to a few weeks ago. She was down there before she visited the Vegas game. And I had a quick little call and we touched base there when she was down in Tucson at the arena for the game. So let me go ahead and play that for you right now. All right. Hey guys, Evan Rev Rennertz over here at Two Guys in Hockey Talk, one of our former guests on one of our biggest hit shows on fights. Zill Arts is calling from trucking down in the southern U.S. Zill, where are you at today?
I'm down here in Tucson.
Tucson.
Yeah.
That's the home of the Roadrunners.
That's correct. The Phoenix Coyotes AFL affiliate farm team. They're playing the San Jose Barracudas today.
Woo! So for those that don't know, the San Jose Barracudas are actually the affiliate for the farm team, the AHL, to the San Jose Sharks. So give us a look at the arena there. What's that? That looks like a nice arena.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it.
So maybe tell us a little bit about this arena. Like, is it specifically home for them? Does somebody else play in this arena?
I'm not sure. I think it's mostly for them, from everything I can see.
Sweet. So right now, the Roadrunners are sitting in 10th place right now in the American. Guys, it's a little loud in the background. Don't worry. She's just getting ready for the live game coming up in only about another 10, 11 minutes. So this is a pre-recorded from earlier in the week here. So Zill had a chance to stop by an AHL game, and she was kind enough to stop and let us get an idea of what's happening. So Zill, will you make sure that you take some live footage of the game and then send it to us, and we'll wrap it up so everyone's going to see some highlights of the game and stuff there and the area. Maybe even let us see the concessions and see what the prices are. That wouldn't be too bad a deal.
Yes, I already got a picture of the concessions, and
so what's a beer cost?
$10.
$10? Oh my God, that's pretty expensive for a farm team. I guess you got to play the players. Okay, give us a few. You got a Tucson Roadrunner jersey on there. It looks like.
Yeah, it's one of their alternates. So.
Sweet. That looks good. I think I now feel like the Arizona Coyotes should adopt that jersey for themselves, man. I love the Roadrunner.
That's for you, Revenant.
Oh, this is my gift.
Yes.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'll make sure I display it up regularly here when we cover AHL material. I appreciate that.
I got something for Pavel the cat too, but he can't see it till it gets there.
Okay, there you go. So I'm sure that he'll be definitely looking forward to that. So if you can make sure, take some clips. Maybe let's see the excitement of the game. And then maybe even if you can do a few pieces where you can just let us see maybe an approximate attendance, how large the place is. We'll do a little bit of research for everybody here too. So
I will do that. Great
awesome.
To see ya.
Hey, sounds great. Have a fabulous game tonight, and go Roadrunners.
Go Roadrunners.
Woo! All right. Well, hey, thanks, Zill. I see that you put in the comment section you're down in Idaho tonight. So again, thanks. So looking like the attendance coming in is around 2,700 to 3,000 in sale. Looking at that game, she estimated maybe, I think in our discussion around game time, it was around 1,700 to 22. So Tucson is not getting the numbers compared to a lot of the other AHL teams. For example, Stockton, Bakersfield, forget about Detroit and Chicago with some of their teams and stuff with the Vipers and so forth. But
I propose they get us on board as armchair GMs so that when they're on the podcast, their numbers are going to grow exponentially. Because as you know, Evan, anytime anyone's on the show, there's promotions happening. So it's just gonna come as a wave, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll call it the two guys spirit.
And you know what? I'm okay with not being part of an NHL team yet. You know, I'll leave that for Ryan Reynolds. I think he's got more credibility. But I'm willing to go into the AHL and start there. You know, start small, as they say.
Oh man, isn't that crazy? Hey, so we have a whole bunch of stuff that we like to talk about tonight. They were playing in that game there, the San Jose farm team, the Barracudas, the San Jose Barracudas, which plays in the same place. Interesting. A lot of the NHL teams are doing that, including the Canadian teams, keeping them within an hour and or within their same city, including just south of Edmonton. Edmonton, in fact, is the only
too.
Canadian. Yeah, Vancouver's it's out in Abbotsford. Calgary's
Yeah.
right in Calgary, whereas Toronto's right in
Yeah.
Toronto, et cetera, et cetera.
Marlies.
Winnipeg, same thing. But hey, can we take a moment and talk about the Barracuda's parent team, the NHL San Jose Sharks, and
Sure.
Erik Karlsson?
Sure.
I just would like to point out, I find this very fascinating. He started off he came out of the chutes running. Everybody's ranting and raving. Look at this guy's points. But can I say this to everybody, please, without you getting offended if you're a Sharks fan? His abandonment of the defensive assignments in San Jose is approaching legendary status. Imagine the balls to suit up as an every night defenseman and then going in and saying, I'm changing the plan, boys. And literally, he's auditioning for a sequel to the Star Wars Rogue One. I mean, he's just abandoning. The numbers may look good, but they don't say everything. Hence, why people have said in other cities when defensemen get a lot of points, it doesn't mean a lot if they're letting a lot by them and really wrecking it for the team. And so,
which is why my Christmas wish list is to have 2 awards for defensemen: one for the most offensive defenseman and one for the defensive defenseman. And if the Norris is now all around defenseman, but we normally give it to the most points, I would say the Norris should be the defensive defenseman versus the Bobby Orr, which should be the offensive defenseman. That's just my thoughts. NHL, if you're listening.
But if you did that and you made the Orr the one for most points, then the Norris for so many years was given to the most points. Shouldn't you keep the Norris as it is?
That's one of the key ingredients of why people vote. But we could have this debate for a long time. But the Norris is an all-around defenseman. It just helps your status in terms of votes due to the amount of points you put up on your team.
True. Okay, let's move over. Let's talk about the World JUnior.
With Karlsson, is that it? That's Karlsson.
Yeah, that's
it.
He
ends up somewhere else. Do you think someone takes that contract or no?
No, they are stuck, man. They're gonna have to pay to get that off their hands. I don't think they're worried about it. I think they're gonna deal with it. They're in a rebuilding mode. Karlsson's not going anywhere. They're not gonna. How much money is he owed?
He's got 4 or 5 more years left. Yeah.
So how do you rebuild?
11.83, I want to say.
So if you take 5.75 off the books, what are you going to have to give up to get him, and also get them to absorb almost $6 million?
I would say that there would have to be a third team involved in order for it to to make it work, so that somebody else can take some of that. But props to him for getting a 700 career points. So I mean, that's something.
Well, yeah, when you abandon all defense and you say screw this, buddies, I'm auditioning for Rogue 2.
Okay,
and,
1150. Sorry, 1150. I was 1183, but he's a high paid defenseman. So
wow.
But anyways, okay, go ahead. So the World.
Okay. Before we hit the World Junior, let's talk about Hockey Canada. You wrote on our Facebook page for people that would like to follow us, get information. We don't just do the podcast. We also have a Facebook page, which we will update and give different stuff. And there was some stuff that you posted on Hockey Canada. Give us the latest on the investigation.
So there's a few little things. First off, Hockey Canada has completed its investigation internally, and I know that even though the board hasn't been officially selected, there's going to be a board and a shadow board, as we talked about in a previous post and discussion. They've passed over their findings to the London Police, London, Ontario, and I know that they themselves, the London Police, have continued on and have a lot of grounds for prosecuting this case as a criminal case, because they've uncovered additional information. So this is just additional information being shared, and Hockey Canada, given the history that has happened this past year, as you guys know, bad look, bad bad image for not coming forth with this and kind of making some poor judgment calls and statements to the public. Has lost a lot of sponsorships. So they want to make sure that this is properly done. And they're passing on this information. And it is possible, Rick Westhead was doing some really good reporting on this, so make sure you follow him on Twitter, is that they may have grounds for criminal probe, and they're going to proceed there. It's going to take some time. People don't understand that it's not an instant reaction. The courts and these proceedings take a long time, but they're making headway, and it looks like some people may be charged. Now, that 2018 team, has some pretty prolific and high-profile players. Cale Makar being one of them. Formanton, who just signed in Europe, and that's going to be interesting, who was of the Ottawa Senators, a few other players. We'll see what happens. We're going to keep you guys posted. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Follow Evan at REV and myself at hockey_2. We always post as much information as we can. You can get a hold of us. But yeah, thoughts, Evan, on the case?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So, well, I think it's really important that if any of you are following the case, be careful not to make assumptions about players currently. Going out there and just saying, well, because of this or because of that, or because this has happened, or because this guy's playing here or there or not playing, or like don't read into those things. That can be very dangerous.
Hyperbole.
Yeah, exactly. But what I will say, moving forward, what I will say is I was really excited to hear that Marian Jacko has been elected to serve the board of directors for Hockey Canada. Now, she is the Assistant Deputy Attorney General for the Indigenous Justice Division in the Ontario Ministry. She has been a children's lawyer for Ontario for nearly 20 years. So this is a big step and a big move, I think, for Hockey Canada. So just so a heads up, so Marian Jacko is now in place as one of the board of directors. And so that really excites me to see that happening. All right, let's move over to the World Juniors. Folks, listen, by all accounts, we're going to get to see the top 5 players. In the top 5, we're going to get to see 3 of the top 5 players in this year's NHL draft eligibility coming up in 2023 will be selected. You're going to have a chance to watch them during the World Juniors. Now, mostly the 3 that I'm referring to is Connor Bedard. By the way, the guy is insane. Go on to tsn.ca, sportsnet.ca, espn.ca.com.
When you're giving us a follow on YouTube, make sure you watch us first, and then you go over to the highlights.
Yes, absolutely. Adam Fantilli, they just got started. They're playing, but right now it's amazing. They're just warming up, just to make that connection. Wright was loaned. We called it well in advance with what was going on. The plan all along was get traded to another team. It didn't happen. They kept him around, kept him learning in the background, sent him to the juniors. So I am telling you right now, Shane Wright, they're working on a deal for an OHL trade to see if they can get him to a winner so he can compete for the rest of the year. If not, they'll have no choice but to play him for the Kraken. But let's just remember the Kraken are a pretty decent team this year. They're competing for a playoff spot. So, and then the third
good
guy,
job, Ron Francis, and also they have cap space, which is something very, very coveted by a lot of teams. Sorry,
it's so Adam Fantilli, by the way, leading the NCAA, so likely to be the number 2 draft overall. And again, that's because for those that have been following for quite a while. So Mativ Mishkov, who is a right wing over in Russia, he's been playing in the junior league in the KHL. They are not giving him all the time that's needed with the war happening. He's not coming over, not eligible. He is uber talented, but they don't even know. He signed a KHL contract. So chances are he's going to be falling between 3 and 5 is what most people are looking at. Definitely, I cannot see him going number 2. Even though we keep having debates on this with some of you guys when you're calling in. All of our guests have even agreed, no chance he goes in the top 2 this year.
Wow,
remember, Colton Dach.
Never. People thought Shane Wright would go first. Sorry, I'm going to.
Well, yeah, no.
Advocate.
But Shane Wright.
People said that he was going to go 1. And everyone was front runner. There's no way. And
we said he was going 1, but I never said that. No one has ever said he will not drop that far. No one ever said he will not drop. So you can't really use a comparison of Shane Wright. And frankly, I am the one that says he will not go. I am the one saying it. So Rev here is telling you no. Now, of course, my partner in crime, my partner in crime is wanting to tell you never say never, because he doesn't want to put his reputation on the line and be wrong. Of course, so right. Whereas I'm willing to put it on the line.
I know nothing about hockey, so there's nothing to be wrong about. I'm always wrong. So
so anyway, don't forget Team Canada. They right now they are the front favorites by a long shot, and I really see Sweden and U.S. as their main competitors, because with Russia out of this year, but they got Colton Dach, they got Fantilli, they got Stankoven, they got Bedard, Wright's back there. The list goes on. They are a heavy favorite in this, but definitely if you love hockey in Canada, you Canadian fans should jump on board and make sure you're taking in these games. It's going to be a beauty. By the way, interesting enough, this year in the WHL, and I'm going to end some of this stuff in just a moment. Now, Connor Bedard's teammate is top 10 in scoring. His name is Tanner Howe. He is not even eligible for the 2023 draft. He's not eligible till next year, and he's in top 10 in scoring in the WHL. The WHL has always been a mainstay for defensive hockey. And so what's happening right now is just, it's the WHL right now is looking to produce a high number of players in this year's coming draft. So really looking forward to seeing kind of what happens over there. Any thoughts on
let us know in the comments who you're going to be watching, who you're most excited for. Of course, Canada and US are pretty easy, but if there's a particular team and a player that you're following, maybe a prospect for your team or someone that you're potentially hoping your team picks up, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear it.
Okay, let's you and I talked about this in the start, just before we went on air. Let's talk about Michael Bunting. Okay. And what happened over? Do you want to go ahead and update everybody, and I'll comment a little after you throw your thoughts into what happened?
Sure. So there was a game on yesterday. It was on yesterday, and it was between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Toronto Maple Leafs, and there was a bit of a scrum at the end of the second period, I believe, where Nylander kind of lost some footing. It was an awkward fall, went into the boards, and then I believe Alex Killorn or Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, I'm trying to remember which one it was, got Marner kind of right at the end of the whistle, kind of like a little after. It was like dying seconds of the period, kind of went into the board. So a scrum ensued. Bunting got involved. The refs and the linesmen got involved. And one of the linesmen got to the point where he skated Bunting out of the way to try to get him out of the scrum, which is fair. And then he actually tried to somewhat aggressively push him out, but not even on the ice, but in between where the ice is and the rink ends. So there's a little bit of elevated space there over the boards, and he kind of gave him a push. And of course, if you mimic what Michael Bunting said afterwards, because sometimes we want players to be mic'd up, but sometimes we don't, given what they say. He said, "What the freak are you doing?" And I'm doing the PG version. Like, that's crazy. Because he pushed a guy. Now, the guy's name, I believe, was Dan
Kelly.
Dan Kelly. And he played in the American Hockey League, and he actually had a big hit against Andreas Johnson, I believe it is, a few years back. So Marlies and Toronto fans may know him very well. Now,
and he's played against Bunting. That's the other thing. He's played against him once.
So I don't know. I'll let you your thoughts on this, but it was a bit of a weird kind of separation, especially since we were gone from the scrum. This wasn't in the scrum. This was outside end of the period. And it looked pretty dangerous because Bunting was able to manage to hold himself up and stay, on his feet or on his skates. But it could have been a much more serious injury or problem. But what are your thoughts? So it's really interesting how sometimes the refs don't get involved and sometimes they do. I don't know what the mandate is from the league on when they should get in and how much is left to for the refs or the linesmen to get involved. But here's the problem: you want to start policing the game like that. You want to start shoving people around like that.
as far as I know now, Ryan Whitney, I'm sure he's going to be on Spit and Chicklets talking about this as well. He's made a massive complaint about it, saying that you don't treat a player like that. Let's remember, you got to still treat. They want to be treated with respect. Then you better treat the player with respect. What Kelly did to me is beyond. In fact, I mean, he was never really good at his job to begin with, in my personal opinion. I know I'm going out there, and some of you may not like those comments, and you might say, well, the players should have it together. You don't have it together. Kucherov was hacking him. He was hitting him from behind.
He got
and then
suspended
he goes,
or a fine for it.
Yeah. Well, fine. He should. Well, I mean, yeah. What's a fine or a suspension
the CBA
nowadays?
Rules. That's what the NHL.
Yeah. Exactly. But then Kelly just sends him packing, so he has no chance to answer the bell, right? Let him answer the bell. Now, chances are other players going to come in. Bunting might get hurt, but that's up to Bunting. It's not up to the refs to make that decision. It's not up to the linesman to jump in and separate people. And of all things, you don't push him like he was pushing him. And it wasn't just mild. And
No.
In fact, he was leaving the ice. He was complaining. He was doing what every other hockey player does that's upset in the heat of the moment. All he had to do was cut him off on the way, kind of hold him back and let him kind of go. So this is an interesting take. I'd really be interested in what some of you guys who have been officials, even at minor league levels, or if you've worked at some semi-pro, or even if you've just worked rec league, like if what you think about pushing him off the ice, or am I overreacting on this with a whole bunch of other fans out there?
I think there's a little bit of an overreaction because this is Toronto, so I will say that. My biggest complaint is that it was unnecessary. I think it was an unnecessary push in the spot that he was in. If it was in the scrum, and you see refs or linesmen sometimes put their arm in between and say, "Hey, like knock it off, like try to separate guys," fine. And Bunting, some tempers are flaring. Teams are
right.
It's a 2-0 game. It's still a hot contentious issue, and they played against each other. And so what's it called? I think in general, it wasn't the best look. The problem is that it's done behind closed doors. So that's my issue. So once again, the officials get a free pass, whether he's suspended or not, whether he has any fines or anything. We don't know about it. And it should be known, because you shouldn't be able to do that to a player. Because what if Bunting does trip and fall, hurt his head, concussion? That's a top 6 guy for Toronto out. What do you do then?
And again, I think the same argument that we have all the time is not that we should have to make maybe the refs have to answer the bell and talk to the media every single time. But I think it should be actually made public that if a referee has been demoted, if a referee is fined, suspended, something needs to go back to the fan to be able to not believe that something's wrong with this pitcher. It makes the NHL look like a Mickey Mouse league, like Wayne Gretzky said back in the day about the New Jersey Devils organization, right?
Yeah, I agree. And again, 2 things. This is a linesman. This isn't a ref. So let's start with that. That's
fair.
This wasn't a ref. This isn't Wes McCauley. Second off, I've seen enough games where it's gotten more heated and intense and physical to the point where like there are large scrums where fists are flying. And you know what the refs do? They point their finger at the player and say, "Get out of here." Again, PGing it. They point it out, and they're able to kind of use their body. I mean, we like to talk here about MANT. People may not know what that is. It's crisis aversion, non-crisis intervention techniques. But what it is that you're finding ways of de-escalating a situation by being a physical presence and by being to assist that situation. That's what refs need to do. They can't be getting involved. He was skating away from the scrum with Bunting. That was my big issue. Bunting and him were nowhere near the scrum. If this was near the scrum and Bunting was still going after him, there's cause for, okay, whatever. It's a little exaggeration. But he was away from the play. Again, that being said, I've seen it many times where linesmen and refs have gotten involved and really pushed refs or players away because they're like, "You guys, I've had enough. Get out of here."
Yeah.
But it should be the ref's job, and teams know when enough is enough, right? Plus, you have the third period to get back at it. So I think it's a bad look. I think, again, it's another black stain on the NHL, and it's not going to change until the refs fix that up. And this is only December. We're only 1/3 of the way through the season. If things continue on, something could happen, right? And what do you do then?
So maybe Kelly looked at his name and thought, bunting? I'm bunting him out of this game. Okay. Let's move on. This is dad humor. This is Papa Grandpa humor. I'm just getting ready for the holiday season here. Okay, so let's move over to something actually interesting. I just wanted to take a few moments to touch in on. And that is over in the CHL. Now, a very sad moment a week ago, London Knights player Akabar Kazebekov, I think is how you say his name. He passed away suddenly. I don't have the details behind it, but just so everyone knows, this past Saturday, the Erie Otters Club and Saginaw Spirit, who are the host team, postponed the game. There was a lot of sensitivity to several of the players that were involved in that game that were very close to Abakar. And so, you know what? Hats off to the CHL and to the Ontario Hockey League for just saying right now, a game's not as important. These are young men, and they're dealing with a tragedy. It's okay to cancel games. One thing that I even hope the NHL starts looking at is it's okay to cancel an NHL game, lose a little bit of money. They found that out during the pandemic and just move on, because sometimes it just is what it is. Like even the game coming up this Friday.
There's things that are bigger than hockey. I agree.
Well, think about Friday, right?
Because I know we're talking about Toronto. People may not know who are coming in from outside of Canada, but in Vaughan, Ontario, just this few days ago, there was a shooting. It was pretty harsh. And Victor Mente, who's a defenseman for the Toronto Maple Leafs, his grandfather was shot. So there was a little bit of a tribute done in the game that Toronto played, but it's really heartbreaking because we don't want to see that. Hockey's supposed to bring us together. There's animosity in terms of who's better, but not when it comes to real life things like that. And so
exactly.
I only hope, and our thoughts and prayers go out to both families. It's tough. You never want to see it, especially for somebody so young. But even somebody as Victor Mente's grandfather, it doesn't matter. Life shouldn't end just because someone's crazy and does something silly and unnecessary, right? Not getting into the politics of anything. So,
absolutely.
No easy transition from that, but let's
exactly. Hey, so I'm just going to throw, hey, Kyle. So Kyle Edwards was just saying hi in the Inside Post a little while ago. Not sure if you're still on, Kyle, but welcome, man. Just so you guys know, Kyle is with the Sports Empire Network. He talks all things sports. He talks basketball, baseball, football, man. I mean, I was just on their show last night doing a bunch of stuff with them. And, Kyle, thanks for talking hockey on your show, even though it's not the Big Three on your Big Three podcast. So, but thanks so much, man.
I'm going to say, Kyle, what's happening to my Lakers, man? Man, they're being
See, there you go. We're bringing a little NBA onto the NHL show.
Oh, you know what?
With all the other hockey talk.
I want to quickly shout out. People can harp on us if they want, but congratulations to Lionel Messi for winning the World Cup for the first time in 30 years.
That's awesome,
36 years. Sorry, 36 years. It's a beautiful thing. You want to see it. The guy is one of the best in his sport. Is he a legend in GOAT status? That's debatable. You guys can let us know. But it's still pretty impressive what he was able to accomplish with the country. Congratulations to the country of Argentina. You definitely deserve it. And, I'm looking forward to the next World Cup in 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is what's really interesting. We're going to move on from this right now. But the last time the Argentina won the World Cup is the last time Canada was in the World Cup.
You're welcome.
Interesting.
Argentina. You're welcome.
And hats off to Canada. They lost to not only Belgium, who's one of the best teams in the world for a long time. That didn't even make it. But also Croatia and Morocco, who made the Final Four. So that says a lot more than people actually knew about the competition that Canada was in.
Was it the group of death, potentially?
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm going to say my country lost to Argentina, so we lost to the champs. So I'm happy with that.
There you go, man. There you go. All right, guys. So let's get over to another little conversation that I want to mention. It's regarding the Detroit Red Wings. There's been some rumors out there about them going after Bo Horvat and what would be in the trade. I cannot believe the rumors would say that Sebastian Cossa would be a part of a trade for Bo Horvat. First of all,
Why not?
let me just say something here. Well, number one, they drafted him high. You don't draft a goalie high and then send him out for a player that is an unrestricted free agent unless you have a sign and trade. Even with that, yeah, again, this is Stevie Yzerman running the Detroit Red Wings. It's not going to happen. I know Pavel says never say never. I'm going to say never. It's never going to happen. Sebastian Cossa is their goalie of the future. They're building a team for the future. Yzerman is patient. Look at what he put together with what was prepared for him in Tampa, man. The guy is amazing. And not to mention, they have, keep an eye out if you're actually following the Red Wings. So Carter Mazur, he is the 2021 Red Wing first-round draft pick. He had a great scoring touch coming out of, for the U.S., coming out of the World Junior this past summer because it was delayed due to the COVID. Now, right now, he has got 20 points in 20 games, looking really good in the NCAA for the Denver Pioneers. So, why Yzerman's doing down there, man? It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Well, they're going to have to make a decision before they do anything with Horvat if they do decide to move it with Dylan Larkin, their captain and their potentially number one center.
And they're not doing anything with anyone else until they deal with Larkin, right? I can't see
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So before people start making all these crazy rumors about getting Bo Horvat, who would be a great number 2 center. Now, the one team that I'm intrigued to see who potentially can make a trade and push for it is Boston. Think about it. Boston has some aging centers.
Yeah.
Is Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci going to stick around next year? Who knows?
Yeah.
They've been rocking it this year. Mike Smith and or Kyle can let us know. But what if they go for
who do you give up? Who? Okay, Kyle, if you're listening in on a rewind or something, you throw your input in. But who does Boston give up to get Bo Horvat? And are you going to go for it as a UFA?
Fabian Lysell, isn't it? Didn't they pick him up? He's a prospect. Who? He's a rookie. Fabian Lysell.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but that's who you're letting.
You think first Fabian Lysell and somebody else probably.
Okay, but this is one of Boston's best years. So you're not getting anything better than a 15th or 17th over. Well, even that they're getting to the second round. So you're going to have a 20th overall for Bo Horvat? I don't think so. I don't think so.
You're getting more than that because. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so okay, so let's just say you get a 20, 25 overall if Boston doesn't do well in the playoffs, and you get Fabian Lysell. That's not enough to me.
I'm saying there's more to that. I'm saying these are just.
Oh man,
bless you.
I got an allergy to what you just said.
Oh, okay. You just can't believe it that I would suggest such a thing. Okay, whatever. Well, guys, Kyle, you can let us know. We'll see what takes place. Detroit. Oh. Hey, Paul, thank you. Thank you for saying that the show is going strong. It really is. If we cut some corners, my partner, then it'll be even stronger. But no, I tease.
All right, man. Okay, hey, so before we talked about we're going to cut our show a little bit shorter tonight, guys. But a couple things we wanted to do. So one of them is Pavel threw out last week some teams and some early Christmas gifts for these teams. And what I am going to throw out a couple names to Pavel that I want to see what he thinks these names of these people. So what I was thinking, Pavel, even though we didn't rehearse this, how about you throw me a hockey team and I'm going to throw you a name of a player instead of you answering what you think for the teams. You'll answer what I'm asking you on the name. I'm getting mixed up what I'm even saying.
This is very simple and complex at the same time.
Okay. Complex. Can I say this though before we go a little bit further here? Nicholas Backstrom, Washington Capitals. It's being rumored he could be ready to return from his offseason hip surgery, which is wonderful to hear about that. So it could be possible by the end of January he is back to play. Which means some movement's going to happen for cap space in Washington. So be watching out for something like that coming up. So just a quick note. All right, buddy.
So do I go first or do you go first?
Okay. Well, you know what? You're younger, so I'm going to let the younger youthfulness go first.
Oh, very kind of you. Okay, we're going to try to wrap this up just because I know it's like Christmas early at school day, like you get home early or from work. All right. So last week I presented 7 Canadian teams and what their ideal wish is this year from Santa. So now we're going to go to the American teams because we covered the Canadian teams, right?
Okay, that's fair.
So Evan, for the Stanley Cup reigning champions, the Colorado Avalanche, what do they wish for this season from Santa?
They wish that their goalies will be able to at least replicate the playoffs to what they got last year.
Okay, bold. I was going to say they want to stay healthy and they're going to have a healthy team, but okay, I'll take that.
Well, you might be right. They might go for health. Okay, so what would Bob Nicholson, president of the Edmonton Oilers, wish for his best Christmas gift this season?
Ooh. That ticket sales continue to be over 100% for the Edmonton Oilers throughout the rest of the season, and potentially that he gets an extension with the Edmonton Oilers organization moving forward.
I was going to say he's looking for an extension because not too many fans want him, so he's hoping that Cates likes him still.
maybe a new burger on the menu here if people know locally, right?
Bobby Mac. Yeah, there you go. Okay, what do you got next?
All right, so in the top 4, because we're sticking with playoff themes, the New York Rangers, who were in the top 4 last year, Final 4, what do they wish for from Santa Claus this year in the upcoming season? The rest of the season.
They wish that Alexei Lafreniere will actually pick it up and play like the superstar player he was previous to joining the NHL.
That's fair. I was going to say that Igor Shesterkin gets back to Vezina candidacy. He's been solid the last little bit, but he gets to that elite level like he played unreal last year so that they can just cover up all their defensive mistakes.
Okay, here's your question. So NHL player Bo Horvat, what is he wishing for this Christmas?
For a full big contract, 8-year by I'm going to say $11.5 million extension, preferably to stay with Vancouver Canucks. If the Vancouver Canucks can trade JT Miller or one of their bigger contracts off the books so that he could stay with the team and compete or go to a competing team.
So I'm going to say that he wishes this year everything else will fall in place, but I think that Bo Horvat would wish that he can complete a 50-goal season by the end of the year.
Fair. He's on a good pace. 21 goals and 29 assists so far? He's rocking.
Yeah, and I think the money will come.
21 goals and 9 assists or 10 assists for 30 some points in 29 games, something like that.
Good on him. Wait to slap it to management for not giving you your contract yet. All right.
Where's Peter Chiarelli when you need him? All right. Well, we did the Oilers last time, so it was a little tough. So we're going to move back just a little bit more. So the Tampa Bay Lightning for this holiday season would like what from Santa?
Oh, they would like to see Kucherov achieve the 2020 scoring level.
Fair.
Yeah, to get back up there.
I think they'd also like to see Stamkos continue to his hit trajectory and potentially get 40, 50 goals himself. Maybe 40.
Sweet.
Because he's been
amazing.
Unreal. Can we just talk about, as an aside, how unreal Stamkos was? And maybe you guys can let us know, but your thoughts, Evan, quickly, on how he was so injury-ridden. He may have gone to Toronto. I know there was a big bid for him. And he came back and won back-to-back Stanley Cups and competed so well. Your thoughts on Stamkos quickly?
Well, actually, yeah, so he comes back, plays a couple games, wins the Stanley Cup during the bubble, and it seems like other than just some minor little issues, it seems like he's been the healthiest I remember his entire career. So hats off to his trainers, hats off to him doing whatever he's had to do. Maybe he's what I have actually heard in some hockey circles that in Florida that he's adjusted some of the way he plays the game. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's his skating style or how he is in the one-on-one battles, but he looks like he battles as hard as he ever has before. So interesting. Okay. So let me ask you this question. Brant Industries bought the Regina Pats. Mm-hmm. Of course, the Regina Pats are right now have Connor Bedard, the number 1 ranked NHL draft prospect and considered a generational player. He's playing in the World Juniors. If you guys did not know for Canada, you're going to want to watch him. You are the Brant Industries ownership. You own the Regina Pats.
Yeah.
Your team will make the playoffs, but you don't really have someone ready. Now, you're sitting here. You're not sure. Are you going to sell him? What are you going to do to build for the future? Your Brand Industries, what do you want for Christmas?
You want to sell out as many tickets as you can and continue to promote Connor Bedard on the team. You also want to go to him quietly behind the scenes and say, Connor, are you okay playing with the Pats for the remainder of the season, or are you willing to move somewhere to get some assets for the team? Or like, how do you envision this year going and potentially next year if he does drop down, even if he goes in the first round, number 1 pick, if he goes, like, he may transition easily or he may go back. And I would honestly continue to promote the bejesus out of him and the Regina St. Pats, because they have record numbers, as we talked about in an earlier episode, of people visiting the Regina St. Pats to watch them play, as well as on the road when they go out on the road to play other teams.
So I'm going to say that they actually are looking for 3 first-round draft picks for Connor Bedard that they can build off in the future, even though that so that he can get a good run and that they can build into the future. Because one playoff run is not going to give you enough. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing, Austin? Is it Austin or Elston?
He goes by a different name, but I think now it's Austin. It used to be, I believe, Ashley, I recall. But yeah, all right. So sticking back with the theme of the playoffs and where we're at. But again, we've talked about Canadian teams, so I can't really talk about Calgary because you mentioned it. But the LA Kings, they faced off Edmonton. What do they want for Christmas, Evan?
Oh, this is a little bit more difficult. I think they want Quentin Byfield to become the player that they drafted him to become. I think it's taking longer, this big boy that they were hoping he would be at a much further along in his development, I guess, than he is right now.
Fair enough. I'm going to say they want healthy goaltending because Cal Pettersson and Jonathan Quick's coming up to the end of his career. You know, great, one of the best goalies ever to play the game. Pettersson was supposed to take that role. He struggled. They've had an issue there. They're still winning games. You know, they're top 3 in the Pacific, but I think goaltending has been an issue. I also encourage people to keep an eye out for Brandon Clark because he's going to be an elite defenseman for Team Canada, and they did loan him. So kudos to the LA organization for Rob Blake for lending him, because he's going to be a stellar defenseman, and I believe he's the assistant next to Shane Wright, who's going to be the captain for Team Canada. For all you hockey nerds.
Yeah, he's looking good right now playing with Connor Bedard. Okay, let me then go to Connor Bedard. He is the question I'm asking you. The number 1 generational ranked NHL draft prospect for 2023. He will not be touched. He is going first overall. What is his Christmas wish?
To finish the season healthy and be drafted by a team that he knows he can be competitive quickly and be surrounded by good players in the future. Have a good World Juniors, win gold right now, I think. But also everything else. But I think initially win gold at the juniors.
Yeah, I was going to say, because a lot of these generational players, I think that they really are about the here and now. They're not really thinking about the team they're going to play for. But as fans, we think that it's the team they're going to play for. I don't think he really cares which NHL team in the end he's going to play for.
I'm sure he'd have an inkling to play in Vancouver, not to get their hopes up, but.
Well, maybe win gold and get drafted by the Vancouver Canucks, right?
How much time do we have? Do we have time for 2 more or no?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I got 3 more.
3 more. Okay.
Yeah, I got 7. I've given you 4. Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. So this team has been on fire in the last little bit, and they've really, really lit it up with one of the best draft picks in the last 3 years, specifically 2019. But what did the Dallas Stars want for Christmas from Santa this year, Evan?
Oh, they won a Stanley Cup.
Okay. No, fair. And they were close. Everyone thought that they were falling off the market. No, let me change that. I think that they'd like to just see a full, healthy season, 2-way player in Tyler Seguin. And Seguin. Seguin.
Seguin. Yeah, they need Tyler Seguin to be healthy is what they need.
Agreed. 100%
Okay.
agreed.
All right.
I think so. I'm going to go bold. Can I just say
okay? Yeah. Let's do it.
They want a Houston rivalry team.
Oh, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Tongue in cheek. No, I'm kidding. But maybe, I don't know. But anyways, all right, go ahead.
Well, I hear there is no longer an Arizona Coyotes team for sale. All right, let me take you over to Vancouver and if you were Bruce Boudreau, who he is a coach for those that don't know of the NHL Vancouver Canucks, what would he want for Christmas?
Probably some better defensive players or JT Miller to play more defensively on the team. And probably a healthy Thatcher Demko that played the way he did last year.
Fair.
Maybe, and maybe I know this is out of the reach of Vancouver because they're not in the talks. Maybe a Jacob Chikrin.
Ooh, interesting. They keep taking all those Arizona defensemen if they could get him.
Right.
Yeah, I would say he'd like to get through the rest of the year without being fired.
All right, so sticking back with the East because we were focused a little bit on the West. And
yeah,
I know
two more. Yeah, let's do it.
What do the Carolina Hurricanes want for Christmas this year?
The Carolina Hurricanes won an appearance in the Stanley Cup final.
Ooh, okay.
They are in that window of opportunity.
Yes.
They need to do it I'm going to give them a 3-year window, this being year 1, 2, and 3. So they got this in 2 more years to get another cup or at least get to that final is going to be a major obstacle to be able to get through some of those tough teams in the East.
Yeah, and now they've got a goalie issue because they've got Anderson, they've got Ranta, and they've got Pyotr Kachenkov. What do? Do you trade one of those goalies?
No.
We'll see. We'll find. No. That's
no.
Fair.
Well, especially looking at the fact that in the NHL, how fast goalies go down and how they can hurt you. You need a tandem. You really need.
I'm going to highlight one player on that team that people need to watch more, and that's Martin Necas, whatever. That is a very underrated player. There was talks a while back, 2 years ago, of a trade 1-for-1 Puljujärvi for Necas. Man, that would have been a great steal for Edmonton. But that guy is almost a point per game. He struggled. He was on their 4th line. He's now playing in the top 6. Great player. So keep an eye out for him.
Wow.
Right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm leading the 2 hardest for you, and the last one will be what we go out with here. So this one, my second to last one, asking for your Christmas wish list if you were them. Colin Campbell, the NHL Deputy Commissioner. If you were him, what would be your wish list for Christmas?
To being the new what's it called? The NHL Commissioner.
For Gary Bettman to retire is what I would say. So he can jump in and be the new commish.
Agreed. That's what I'm going to suggest.
Okay. All right. Last ones, man. Let's do it.
All right. So this team, it's pretty easy going. I mean, things get kept under wrap, but what did the New York Islanders want for Christmas? What does Lou Lamoriello want?
I
called the Lamoriello Islanders, not the New York Islanders.
Lou's Islanders. So recalling an old guest of ours from last season, TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, one of the things that they talked about a lot last year, now they've done quite well this year in spite, is they're an aging team.
Yes.
I think that his wish list this year on the island would be could we grow younger, continue to be competitive, and grow younger. That's what I think would be on their wish list.
I agree.
Oh, that's it?
Oh, you want me to add? I didn't know what to. I mean, I would say that they want to make an appearance in the Stanley Cup final, like the Carolina Hurricanes, because they've been so close, and they were the team that gave Tampa the most issues in the last few years. So, I think that's what it is, and I think they have one of the most underrated blue lines in the NHL, and that's
Wow.
Good for Brad Lambert, I believe it is, for taking that team after Barry Trotz there and making it competitive. So props to that.
Excellent. Okay, man, this is the last question I have for you for Christmas wish list. If you were them. So former player Alexei Morozov of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I could go on with his background in hockey, but for those that did not know, in 2021, he became the Continental Hockey League, the KHL president. He is now, Alexei Morozov is the KHL president. If you were him, what would be your wish list, on your wish list, number one, for Christmas?
Either an opportunity to be a GM in the NHL or potentially an assistant GM.
Oh, wow, man, you went right off of the books on that one. Interesting enough.
What would you do?
What
well,
you no, do? I no, yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. So mine would be to see an end to the war, and this is how I'm going to end it: an end to the war for the KHL.
Way to throw me under the bus there. Jeez. Oh, man, you gave me a softball, and I was hitting the left, right, and center.
I throw you a curve on that one. You didn't know it. But I think the wish would be to see an end to the war and see the KHL be able to return to what it used to be, because let's just say there's so much less talk around the KHL. It's unfair to the players that are playing there. It's unfair to those that have nothing to do with the war and are not supportive of it, but have to live within that environment. And so for Christmas, that is my wish, is to see an end to the war of Russia invading into the Ukraine, to see an end to all this happening, and to see the hockey world once again be able to open up.
Yeah, fair enough.
And give me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and what's your wish as to end this Christmas?
I butchered it. Well, I'm now going to wish for the war to end in Ukraine with Russia, because there's no saving grace here for me. But I think I wish for everyone just to enjoy the NHL being back and being as better than ever it was, for all the problems that it has, for all the chaos that exists outside, for just the sheer magnitude of knowing that hockey's back, how exciting it is at all levels, whatever you're watching, women's hockey, men's hockey, AHL, KHL, and just for people to continue to love the game and get invested to it, because it is one of the best, if not the best sport in the world. And I want more people to know it, but I also secretly want to do our podcast. So that's that's the selfish person in me.
Well, and guys, this is our last podcast of 2022. So we will not be on for the next 2 weeks. We will resume on January 11th. So come back, plan your time that day. We're looking forward to, we got some guests, actually. Sean Fiery will be joining us shortly in January, as he's going to be in the Edmonton Rogers Place to watch his Tampa Bay. It's one of the arenas he's traveling to, and so we're going to have a chance to meet him and be able to air a show with you with Sean Fiery. We got some other former players. We got some former personnel, former vice president. We have a whole bunch of other guests lined up. We're hoping to rile up some of you with some of our former co-guests who have come on, some of you super fans, and to see some of them, and to give you some different insights to maybe some teams around the NHL or junior hockey that maybe you've never heard before. So, well, Pavel, man, it's been a blast in 2022. It's coming to an end.
Wow, it's been a roller coaster. We thank everyone for tuning in, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, through our Twitter account, where you can follow Evan at REV or us at hockey_2, for tuning in every episode or later on, for tuning in from all around the world. We appreciate it. We love you guys. You guys are the best, and gals. We love everyone. Yeah. We wish you nothing but the best. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all the things. Evan, it's been a pleasure. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow. We love it. We love hearing from you. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we are always here. We are bringing you the latest and the greatest. We will bring our banter. We will bring our non-hockey knowledge, and we will continue to make you laugh or make me laugh with how much Evan knows nothing about hockey, or vice versa. Maybe
we'll make them cry. Well, it's
only
been
tears of joy.
It's been another ring a ding dong dandy, guys. But in the meantime and in between time,
keep your sticks on the ice. Stay safe.
Cheers.